What's up, guys? It's me, Pez Flips, and I just recorded a video just to realize that I never pressed the button, so that's really cool. Today we are going to be talking about the Asgard Zengetsu, and that's this guy. I've spent about a week or so with this guy, more like 6 days, so maybe I'll copy Blade Bias's video title format, see if I can't be a little sneaky that way. Yeah, I figured I would start with more of the cons and then move my way into the pros and then finally some of this like gray area that I have with it. So the first thing is the sound. You might be wondering, why does this thing not sound great? One handle doesn't sound too bad, but when I do like the sound test, it's not nearly as ringy as it used to be. And the primary reason is not tolerance in this instance. Rather, it's the hardware. Now this hardware, these are the tiny little screws. I don't know the name of them. Sorry, I poked myself during my recording. The tolerance of this is fine. It's rather the screws because they keep backing out. Now I only have this tiny little guy to screw in these little dudes, and like even then, it'll probably sound better. But one of these screws just keeps backing out, and that's really frustrating because I didn't have that problem, right? Until it dropped on the concrete one time. And cosmetically, there's not like a big problem. I don't know. Yeah, you can see it like right there in the corner. But as soon as it hit the ground that one time, the screws started backing out. And I originally thought that there was a problem with it being like too gunked up by like oil or something. So I took it apart this morning. And it wasn't actually the issue. It was the simple problem of the screws being just too loose, which is kind of unfortunate because I spent all that time cleaning it, but at least I was able to, I don't know, I'm always nervous to open up a knife for the first time because, I don't want to mess something up, right? But with that, I would say that's probably the biggest problem that this thing has is the hardware. And the hardware is non-standard as well. The pivot size is smaller than the other ones, so trying to find a replacement is probably going to be a little bit more tricky for this one, which I'm not really looking forward to, but I think it will be worth it once I do get something in there. I'll probably put stainless steel washers in as well, unless I don't feel like doing it, which is entirely possible. The second con, which is I think probably the most visually obvious, are the handles. Now, I am partial to thin handles. I like the ease that they have. It's easier, I think, to like move between my fingers. But that being said, these are definitely not your average size handle. When you think about like a lot of tricks being made or like being done on a balisong, right? They're done with kind of the standard distribution of handle sizes in mind. So certain tricks, such as like the basic twirl, they can get away from you, like they'll roll over because of the size of these handles. You have to apply a little bit more pressure between your fingers, pinching them so that it doesn't roll on like a different axis, right? Because then you can like make your way over to this instead of being on that side. Now, I don't think this is by any means a beginner knife. I think with an experienced flipper, that's not really that much of a problem. And like I've been flipping for about a year now. So I feel like for the most part, that's like not too big of a problem, but something to keep in mind. If you are looking for your first live blade, for example, this is maybe not the best one to go for just because you have the chance of it rolling over and then that bite handle catching you. The last thing I will say, which is what brings me to my wrist here, is this tip. This tip is probably the sharpest tip that I have. I have a Alt Edition Bowie Rep that has a pretty sharp tip as well. But even that one isn't as sharp as this guy. And that's the thing, is that like when you're trying to do something such as like the ice pick aerial, okay, I just did it there. When you're trying to do something as like the ice pick aerial, they tell you not to like throw your hand up for it because, if you don't get like a full revolution, your hand is going right into that tip, and that's not gonna, you know, feel super great, right? So that's something to certainly keep in mind. Even on, you'll see, like, it's barely nicking me, just barely scraping past, but because the tip is so small, it's doing a lot more than what you would think it would. Now, like, if it brushes up against you, at least for me, I don't really notice it too often. I just see it after the fact, and I'm like, what the heck? But like, I flip sitting down a lot, and like, I've caught myself. I have like these little dots on my legs because I've dropped it and it's like poked into me. And because it's like a small knife, like the hole itself isn't big, but usually it does end up drawing blood because it is so thin, so it can go deeper in to your skin. Whereas, like, you know, something like a Japanese tanto is not going to nearly go as far into your skin. So that's just something to keep in mind, is that this tip is definitely not friendly. So that being said, let's get into the pros. First thing is the tolerance. And now I know I said the sound isn't good, but the tolerances are like very good. Even despite the fact that the screws are backing out. Still doesn't have tap. Barely any play, and that's also with the loose screws. And the sound is still pretty good. Now, the ringing can be a love it or hate it situation. I don't think this is the loudest ring in the world. And obviously right now, with it not being fully tightened down, you won't be able to hear the ring to its fullest ability. But I like the ring, and I feel like it's not the most annoying aspect of... it's not the most annoying ring, I should say. Because I've had like the... what is it? The One Tsunami, and that thing is... probably more on the annoying side. So yeah, that's probably the first thing, is the tolerances, the build quality, the materials. Like, you're getting titanium, like, it is really good. And the second thing is going to be the balance. Now, I've heard people say that this thing doesn't carry momentum, but I was very happy with this guy. Like, when I first flipped it, I remember in the first impressions video, I talked about how it feels like it's floating in your hand. This guy, when you are like doing stuff like, let's say like the cherry picker, right? I don't know if I can do it like not so ugly. It feels like it's just levitating, which is so unique. Now, I've spent like a week with just this guy, so you know, I've lost a little bit of that perspective as I've gotten more used to it. But despite that fact, like, I still feel like this guy has like such a unique flow to it. It certainly carries momentum. I've heard other people say that, but I would disagree. The fans are really good, especially because the handles are partially rounded, so being able to get that out of the way is really nice. The chaplain area is also really tight. Because there's like less material there, as you saw, it makes it so that you can get away with doing a lot tighter of a chaplain than you would be able to with another knife. And because of the fact that there's less material towards the tip here, and it's also carbon fiber, which is more material, it makes it tighter, and it makes the fan more significant because there is more mass concentrated to the front here. The jimping as well is surprisingly good. You would think that because it's a cutout running through the jimping, that it would kind of sacrifice a little bit of that performance, but out of all the knives that I've had, this is the best at jimping, and ladders come out a lot easier because of that weight and everything. The next thing that I've really enjoyed about this guy is just the overall unboxing experience. This guy comes with a whole box, like a Pelican-ish case, and you can take this anywhere. It has like inner foam. I have a couple of my other knives in there right now, but it comes with a lot of extra stuff, and you have this case, and I can just put something else in there, and yeah, they might move around a little bit, but like, those guys are basically in there for good. Going to now, like, this gray area is right there. It's this section, this cutout. And at first I thought you couldn't chaplain on it, but you can chaplain on it. Matter of fact, you can do a momentum change with it. You can do a ricochet. Which is so weird. It's very non-ordinary. But with that, like, it opens up so many different routes. And honestly, I don't know how to feel about that. You know, there have been moments where it's definitely saved me from, you know, catching a cut. But I don't know. Is it stepping away from the traditional experience of a live blade? Like, to a degree, this is like bringing it a little closer to like a trainer, right? But it also allows you to have so many different combo paths and options that it is interesting, exciting potentially. But I'd be interested to hear what you guys think about the cutout on the bite handle. I feel like it's controversial. Also, like, you see that there's that little nick here. It definitely catches you, but it's not like the sharpest thing. So there's been a few times that it's grabbed, but for the most part, it's nothing that's too problematic. But I think, yeah, that's like the weirdest part about it. The grip is also surprisingly good. They have like a finish on this thing. Like it's like like bead blasted or something. But it's very grippy for a titanium knife. I really don't like how my Tsunami is really slippery, the Armshark Tsunami handles. But this guy, I don't have that problem. Like right now, this thing feels very comfortable. Like if you flip it for a while, like the oils from your hand actually make it better, rather than making it more slippery over time, which I personally very much so enjoy. I need a knife that is pretty grippy. I'd rather have it more on the grippy side than not. So yeah, that's also another aspect that I really like. You can pinch yourself every once in a while on this Zen. It's not really a Zen nipple, is it? Like the top here, you can pinch yourself, but it's, you know, when you're flipping a live blade, you know, you're not really going to worry about that kind of stuff that often. It doesn't pinch me that often anyways, and it's not really that, it's not like painful. It's just kind of like, it surprises you. Sometimes it catches me off guard because I think maybe I cut myself and I didn't realize it yet, you know? But yeah, like, that's overall my experience with this guy. It's certainly unique. I think if you're a collector and you're trying to find something new and you want to just flip something that's so different from everything else, this is definitely something to pick up. If you are a beginner and you're wanting a live blade, don't get this guy because it is too weird. It is different from other things. If you like thin handles, get this guy because these thin handles, everything else about it is really nice. The thin handles are certainly something to get used to, but even myself, after flipping it for a while, I've become a lot more comfortable with these handles, and I feel confident in its ability to perform, even competitively, which is interesting. So overall, I would say that if I could change the hardware out, this guy is getting a 9 out of 10. But in its current state with the screws backing out and stuff, I'm honestly going to have to give it like a 7.5 or something. Because everything else about it is good. Oh, don't see these things. Everything else about this thing is good, but it's just the screws. It only started happening today, and I'm just very disappointed in that. But I kind of figured that was going to be a problem eventually. I just didn't want to face that reality, I suppose. So, yeah, it's been Pez Flips. Let's see if I can get a giraffe. Okay, that's one try. Last try. Almost. But it's been Pez Flips. Hope you guys have a great morning, afternoon, night, day, whatever. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.